Hi everyone, my name is Nature Angel and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be doing a video on what you should look for if you are looking for a good internship. Now, I don't mean in the sense of like, okay, this is going to be the best experience ever, because truth is, in internship you are still learning how everything works. You're trying to get that real world experience, and that is what I'm going to focus on. What I think you should look for that will help you when you actually enter the career as a school psychologist. All right, I'm going to do 5 things, and the first thing, and these might be a little controversial, but hear me out. So the first thing I would say is pick a placement that is challenging. Maybe it doesn't even have an MTSS system or RTI, you know, a multi-tiered system of support or a response to intervention. And this is why I think this may be good to do an internship. So in school you learn you should have an MTSS system, because just how it's structured, it makes everything flow, it makes sense, right? But there are a lot of schools that don't, or in the process of implementing one. So if you are still learning and you're working at a school where they're trying to put it into place, but they don't have it yet, and you're a part of that process, so you see the behind the scenes of how it works, you know why it isn't good firsthand to not have a tiered system, and you also have that experience of building it up. I think that is such great experience in the career, because then I feel like you're more versatile and able to go almost anywhere. Because if you work at a school that already has a tiered system of support, great, obviously that's what we want the schools to do that, but you wouldn't know what had to have happened to get there. And like I said, there are plenty of schools who don't have that tiered system. But if you worked on that in internship, now if you go to those other schools, it might not be as much of a shock, and you might be able to implement it faster because you have that experience of working with a school that doesn't have it. And then it'll be easier for you to do it in the future. Number 2 is good pay. And I say good because good pay for an internship is about $10,000, and great excellent pay was about $15,000 to $20,000. I think the highest I had seen someone in my class was $15,000. Now, granted, this was just in Pennsylvania. Other states, who knows, maybe they pay you like a normal pay that a school psych would get or close to it. But I say make sure that you are not taking an internship that doesn't have any pay, because there are some out there. It's already hard enough as a grad student money wise, so why put that extra pressure for a whole year where it takes up so much of your time and you can't really work another job. So this is going to be a good portion, if not all, of the money that you're making. Number 3, step into an uncomfortable zone for you. So I always thought I wanted to be in an elementary school, and that was my mindset. And then for internship, they put me in a high school. And now I don't have a high school right now. I have an elementary and a middle school, but I love working with high school. I know I was uncomfortable and scared and nervous to work in the high school. And then when I actually did it for internship, I was like, wow, I like this. I like this the most out of all of the grade levels that I could be in. But I wouldn't have known that if I wouldn't have been in that uncomfortable situation to begin with. And then that made me realize, like, okay, I like this. And you know what? Even if you don't like it, it's only for a year. So then you know, like, for sure, oh, I wouldn't like this, you know? Like, I know I like elementary school. I have one now. I know I love high school. I didn't think I'd like middle school either, and now I work in a middle school. I'm like, yeah, I don't. But you know what? Like, I wouldn't have known for sure, so I tried it, which I did. So step into an uncomfortable zone. Remember, it's just for a year, so you could get a feel for things that you might not like, and then you can confirm it, or things that you think you might not like and you might actually love. Number 4, ask to learn and practice as many different assessments as you possibly can, because you're still in that learning phase in internship. I mean, you're always going to be in a different type of learning stage just throughout life, but in internship, you're trying to pick up on, okay, how do I test? When do I test? How do I get into like a schedule or routine? If you are doing a bunch of different tests, you can get to know which ones you like and don't like and want to use. And some require more training. So like the ADOS, for example, I know at our school, you have to have that extra training to be able to administer it. So if you can get in a lot of practice with different types of assessments, and then maybe even find ones that you really like, because when I started working, at least, we were able to choose what assessments you wanted to buy. So how are you gonna know if you didn't have a range? And I mean, we worked with the WJ. I prefer the WISC, you know, so everyone has like personal preferences, and depending on where you're at, you might not get a choice. So if you are able to use a whole bunch of different assessments, then you're in a school maybe where they're like, you're gonna use this one, this is all we have. It might not be a shock because you're like, oh, like I worked on that on an internship. And the last one, number 5, try to get your internship in a state that you're trying to work. So like I did my program in Pennsylvania, but I wanted to live and work in Virginia, which is what I'm doing now. But for internship, I tried to go to Virginia and they wouldn't let me. Now, when we were looking at those programs, it was 2019, before COVID. Things have changed so much. Like now you can virtually do your internship class that you take your last year of school. So it's easier if you wanted to do an internship in another state. And I think that's really good for you to try to get that experience there if you think that's where you want to live and work, because each state is so different. So if you're able to learn how the schools work and you're actually there in that state working in those schools, that could help when you're going to go get a job. You might have an easier time getting the certification in that state because you learned there, essentially. Like you didn't learn in your grad school there, but you learned in your internship. So it could just make things much, much easier and a much smoother process. Plus, you know, they're not worried like, oh, will this translate well from state to state, because you were already working in one of their schools for a whole year. So if you are thinking of being in another state than your grad school program is in, I would try my best to do an internship in that state. Even if you aren't 100% sure that you want to live there, maybe then you'll find out you don't. But at least if you do end up going there, you have that experience there. So, all right, everyone. I know this video is a little shorter. Maybe not. Maybe it's kind of long. But I hope that you guys enjoyed so much. And please let me know if you have any suggestions about what you want when you find an internship. I didn't look for these things personally when I was going for an internship. I was just like, let me just go and apply and get one, because I wanted one so bad. And I loved my internship experience. I thought it was great. But if I had to go back and, you know, pick an internship again, I would be looking for these things, because I think it just makes you more well-rounded and a better school psychologist overall. So again, if you guys have anything that you guys suggest or want to say, or questions or comments, please leave that down below. It's greatly appreciated. I thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys the next time. Bye guys.